Surah al Aṣr captures the essence of Quran beautifully. The fundamental message of Surah al Aṣr is reflected in all 114 surahs of the Quran. The Quran is guidance for all people, regardless of their race, religion, nationality. Quran teaches us how to live our lives according to God's will. And Quran teaches us how to live our lives successfully for the life that is about to come, which is the hereafter. Reflecting upon the contents of this surah is more than enough for one's guidance and understanding. So let's dive deeper into Surah al Aṣr. So the surah goes like this: time bears witness that these people shall definitely will be in a state of loss, but except those who expressed faith and did righteous deeds, and those who urged one another to the truth and urged one another to steadfast or remain firm on the truth. So the first verse, time bears witness. What does that mean? From the complete prophethood, Adam to Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon them all, bears witness to this. During this time, the court of justice was set up in this very world to the direct recipients of the messengers of God, and the rebellious ones were punished on this earth. Quran tells us the stories of old civilizations like Prophet Noah, Prophet Shuaib, Prophet Lut, for example, peace and blessings be upon them, that there will be a day of judgment, final day of judgment. So these stories from the past judgments are like proof. Just like scientists prove things in lab, history also backs up the idea of a day of judgment. Now the word faith, iman, in this ayah is an old religious concept also found in Hebrew, which means to believe and depend on something true. Quran uses faith in the same manner, to have a strong belief in something with absolute certainty in the heart. To be a true believer, moment in Quranic sense, one must submit their mind and body to God, and that lays out the foundation of faith. Quran teaches us that faith is not just about words. It must also be accompanied by actions that validate its truthfulness. Good deeds that come from true faith are essential qualities of a true believer. Faith can grow stronger with knowledge and good deeds, but it can also weaken or disappear if you don't follow the principles of faith. Let's say if you don't pray or if you don't read the Quran. That is why we pray 5 times a day as a reminder why we were sent to this world. Just like if you don't eat, you will eventually die. And if you don't renew your faith, that will result in spiritual death. And you will do things for this world and this world only. Now, faith and good deeds are interconnected. They need each other. The Quran says that the first condition for salvation is to declare faith. People who do good deeds without truly believing, their deeds are like a mirage in a desert. They may seem real, but they don't provide real nourishment. The essence of faith includes 5 elements: believe in God, believe in His angels, believe in His messengers, believe in the divine books, and believe in the final day of judgment. True believers follow these pillars as guiding principles to maintain their faith. Now the Quran says that good actions are those that match up with God's wisdom, who's watching over everything. These actions feel right to us and also align with what God advises us to do. Quran recognizes that humans are social beings, not isolated individuals. Our moral and spiritual growth is shaped by this integral part of being human. Therefore, Quran encourages us to care for and improve our surroundings. It's vital for our faith that we actively involve ourselves in the betterment of our communities. This obligation is mentioned as part of righteous deeds because it is a natural requirement for one's love for truth. People desperately want others to love what they love themselves. The way this obligation is mentioned in the Quran shows that it is one of the most important pillars of our faith. Muslims who fulfill this obligation along with other righteous deeds are guaranteed place in paradise. Faith is also included in the word haqq mentioned in the surah because it is the right of God. Matter of fact, it's the greatest right of God. Similarly, righteous deeds either relate to the rights of God or they relate to the rights of human beings. Therefore, righteous deeds are also included in the word haqq, the truth, the right thing to do, the rights of others. Now, fulfilling these obligations is no easy task. It requires patience in this context, which means to stay the course no matter what. Now, I'll give you an example from, let's say, if you pray only 4 times a day. You don't pray Fajr because, especially in cold weather, it is hard to get up, it disrupts your sleep, and then you have to go do wudu in cold water. Now, if you stay the course no matter what, you will pray regardless of how difficult it is. That's staying the course, being steadfast. Now you can also urge others to do the same, right? If your wife is not doing it, your kids are not doing it, you can remind them to get up for Fajr and do that. And they're praying 4 times a day, but they're not praying the morning Fajr prayer because most likely it is hard to get up in the morning. Another example could be, let's say you are going through financial difficulty and you see a way of making a living which is illegal, which is haram and forbidden. Since you're struggling and you need the money, you can take the wrong path and earn a living the wrong way. But if you stay the course no matter what, you stay firm on what's right, it will not deviate you from doing the right thing. And you will continue to stay patient, pray and supplicate to God for a better outcome for you and your family. So those are just examples of what the word sabr, patient, means in this ayah. Now keep in mind, when you urge one another to the truth, haqq, it is our immediate circle, our friends, our family, our acquaintances. It also means that there isn't a clear line between the person preaching and the one who's being preached to. Everyone can both be a preacher or a listener. The Quran sometimes refers to this as Amr bil Ma'ruf and Nahy anil Munkar. In simpler terms, we should guide those close to us towards what's right and steer them away from what's wrong by these standards.